Hi, I'm Kevin and I have post-trip depression. You know, post-trip depression, I didn't think it was something real. Honestly, just thought it was the readjustment of coming home from being away and just getting back to your regular schedule, whether it was with the sleep or just anything like that. After a couple days of being back and seeing that I'm not readjusting and feeling myself, I started wondering what was wrong with me. Now, I know I'm not fully depressed or think that I'm depressed clinically or anything like that, but I knew that something wasn't sitting correctly whenever it came down to my mood as soon as I got back from my trip. I started to miss the feeling of just being out, creating, doing the things that brought me joy without having a simple setup of time and anything that was happening. So for me, it was a little bit different to just kind of come back home to readjust to that mentality of having a set schedule to be able to do the things that I wanted to do now. And it's something that's been hitting me quite hard. For me, the feeling of having an adventure and just gearing away from your everyday normal routine has been something that I truly just enjoy. And coming home has been something different to readjust for myself that sometimes I don't know if it's something that is just with the trip being over and having to come back to realism or what's going in my head to know that if I'm fine or not. I know that I just miss the sensation and the thrill of finding new places and the adventure feeling whenever I'm out in those travels and trips that is just something that I feel like I don't get at home, which always brings joy to me, and it just helps me stay creative as much as possible because everything feels that new sensation and just awe that it just makes me want to create as much as possible, which I somehow just don't really see that anymore once I come home from every trip. Whether it's post-trip depression or if it's just the lack of inspiration from the places that I've had over and over every day at home, it's something that I'm still struggling with to readjusting no matter what whenever I come home from a trip. See, for me, traveling is great. You get to experience the lifestyle of other people. You get to go to a coffee shop that could be their favorite coffee shop and you don't even know. You get to see the views that they get to experience daily, and it's something new for you that maybe for them, they're feeling how I feel when I come home, having that post-trip depression that just makes me not feel as inspired or as motivated to do my everyday routine. So I wonder sometimes myself that if it's just that new experience that is just bringing me joy and creativity, or if it's just something that is different. See, for me, it's something so cool to be able to travel and experience those things because it makes you feel like you're one of them in the short time that you're there and have to experience the life how they do it. But for me, it's just being able to create and document different things. For me, coming home has just been finding the same things over and over that maybe I've become numb to, maybe I just don't get anymore, but just having that ability to travel and see different places is just something that I truly enjoy fully. So coming home is hard after getting to experience that creative freedom, that new lifestyle, and just up and challenging yourself with a new adventure because everything is new. But despite all that, there is one good thing that I truly believe that is when coming home. And that is coming home to my amazing dogs, because no matter how long I've been, whether it's 5 minutes or 5 days, they always greet me with such a smile and joy that it always makes it worth coming home to see that. It's something that I truly love that makes me feel better instantly as I'm arriving home because they're the reason that I just enjoy being home. The location itself doesn't have to be anything crazy, I guess, but knowing that they're there, it's really nice to come home to with my wife when we come home from our trips. I know having them with us at all times on our trips would be ideal, but realistically, some of the times we can't do that. But at least it helps whenever we're coming home to, see them and make a little bit of that post-trip depression be a little bit less harsh. Because at the end of the day, it just lets me wind down and spend some time with them while I get everything kind of processed again from the trip that we just took and be able to just start, getting everything ready for the editings that I want to have to do for the trips or anything that I created, just to get back into that mindset, to get back into, the grind, if you will, to be able to create just the best content that I can, whether it's for YouTube or social media or for myself. It's something that just helps me out to get back into, my creative mind. Because whenever I come home from those trips, sometimes my brain wants to shut down and doesn't want to do the things that I know I should be doing and editing and everything, because Sometimes I just feel a little bit sad just arriving back because the trip was just too great. I got to experience some great things, and coming home to a town that I think is just so limiting, it makes it a little bit harder to be able to do the things that I want to do. So getting to do these trips have been just phenomenal, but it also does take a mental toll on me because I feel like whenever I come home, I notice what I'm missing that this town can't give me. But the one good thing about being home and getting to edit those videos and photos that I was able to take in my trip is just to help me believe that none of it was just a dream, that I actually experienced it and was able to just document those memories to cherish them for a lifetime. That tends to help a little bit more with my post-trip depression, because whether it's clinically documented that post-trip depression is an actual thing or not, I'm not a specialist, but this is just how I feel. This allows me to relive those memories, to feel fine, to feel like something great happened despite of coming back to my regular routine. It makes me relive those memories while I'm editing and seeing what I was up to those days, that it just makes everything better overall. Now, I don't think that being able to just edit them is gonna make me feel better, but it does help out that just, it's like a way of therapy for me, the editing process, making sure that I'm getting the colors that I wanna get. What was I thinking during that shot? How could I better it next time if I get to come back anytime soon? So things like that help me out to just start focusing on the positives rather than the negatives of being home. But as I finish all my editing and being able to publish the videos that I film while out there and sharing with you guys, sometimes that, dream stage and replaying of memories comes to an end, which settles in again with knowing that the trip is truly over. So now what comes next? That's something that always comes to mind whenever I'm done editing a set of series of photos, videos from a trip. Now, do I plan the next one? Will it fulfill me this time? Will it be enough? Those are the questions that I tend to ask myself every time that I'm, planning for a trip that I want to make or videos that I want to create. Am I only chasing the next one, or is it just me wanting to become better every single time? I like to believe it's a mix of both. I like to believe that it's something that most of us do. There is some sense of normalcy, if you will, when it comes down to that thought process. But for me, I know that I just want to create the best that I can, enjoy it, and work on becoming better every time to not let the post-trip depression get me. Because at the end of the day, I need to be my own cheerleader despite of anybody else supporting me. I need to be the best one out there for myself. And with finishing up all my video editing and photos to relive those memories and my post-trip depression kicks in, I tend to remember that just because a chapter ended doesn't mean the story has finished, but it means that I'm ready to write the next chapter and make sure a new adventure is there for me. So with that said, that's something that I think helps me cope with my post-trip depression as much as possible, and hopefully it'll help you out too, because at the end of the day, chapters are just next levels for our stories that until the last one is written, we'll never know. So keep writing.